And we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to everybody going out to work this morning. Shout out to Seymour for being the first one in this morning. Shout out to Asarin Odetta. The number's up on the live so you can call in. WhatsApp is free, so you can use WhatsApp. Or if you're in the US and you want to call in straight, then you can go ahead and do that as well. June O'Brien, thank you for being here. Kevin Mervyn the Point, Jamaica Kerr, thank you for being here. Audrey Wright says, morning fam and present teacher. Mr. Article Dan is in the building this morning. Denzel Gale is here. Dainty D is here. Wayne Nathan is here. Lessa Steph is in the building. Real G, big up yourself. Janet Stewart's here. Prillis123, Jane Anders, Senior Sexy, BM Brummel Wright. Pussy Galore, Pussy Galore is in the building this morning. Darlene Walter Riley is here. Marcia Walters is in the building this morning. Karen Notice is in the building this morning. Sharon Spence, Crystal G, big up yourself. Elaine Brown is here. Debbie Jervis. Fallon Carrington says shalom. Thank you for being here, fam. Vicky Victory is in the building this morning with us. Vicky. Dion McFarlane is in the building this morning. Dorothy T. Andrea Shervis. I laugh when I say Vicky because Vicky always have some sugar going. Anyway, Andrea Shervis is in the building this morning. Julie Tapper. Laurie Lawrence is in the building with us this morning. Thank you for being here this morning. SD's Rasta Caribbean in the building. Ella A is in the building. Patsy Barron's in the building with us this morning. Thank you for being here as I sips my coffee and gets into these topics. Hold on. Shout out to the people going out to work and coming in from work. Extra special big up to every single person. All right. Those who want good for others as much as you want good for yourself. I make it a point of saying that every morning, even when we cut the intro short, because it's something that's very important to me. You got to want good for other people as much as you want good for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good character trait to have. Anyways, I was busy, not busy, I was missing yesterday. And here's the thing. Sometimes I got to tell myself, I got to remind myself that I'm human. You know, I try to do superhuman stuff and it catches up to me. So yesterday I is one of the days where I just couldn't do it. My apologies to those who are waiting for your morning thoughts and that morning cup of coffee. Right now I'm drinking a cup of coffee and I don't even drink coffee like that unless it's one of them things. But I was tired, man. I spent the whole week, every day of the week before, waking up at 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning, doing a vigorous workout at the gym and continuing a long day, then ending the days at 10 o'clock at night and 11 o'clock at night. Now, if I'm going to bed at 11 and I'm waking up at 2, that should give you an idea of how much sleep I was functioning on for every 24-hour period. About 2 to 3 hours of sleep, right? So I'm tired. I was very tired. And Monday morning came around and I just couldn't move. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. And you know what's funny is the whole time I was laying there, I couldn't even sleep because it was like I was talking to myself, like morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts, what we could talk about this morning. And man, it's like I'm running morning thoughts from my bed, right? And I'm thinking, oh man, I should have just got up and went through it after, but I needed to sleep so much. That's just to tell the rest of y'all out there who's doing that you're only human. You're only human, and at some point we get tired, and at some point you need some rest. So don't run yourself ragged because rest is a very important part of securing your health. And remember, I know health is wealth. Once that health leaves you and starts to fade, my friend, you're going to be crying about nothing else in life but that health and trying to get that health back. I always say this, the richest man in the world, once his health starts to fade, he start looking at giving up everything he owns. I own seven. I know this Chinaman came on yesterday. Not that him being Chinese have anything to do with it, but he owns, I think, like 70,000 rental units. And I'm like, damn, you could imagine his monthly income? 70,000 rental unit, high-end rental units. Anyhow, no matter if his health starts to fade, he will give up every bit of that to start over again to get his health back. I'm just saying. The richest man in the world will give up everything they have to get their health back. Your health is that important. And without your health, you can't function properly and you can't be your optimal self, 100% you. And you can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. So you got to take care of yourself. I have to keep on reminding myself that. So I tell you that as well, just so you are, you're reminded while I'm reminding myself. This message is for me and then for others like me. We go and go and go and go, but it's the nature of the beast. It's what it is. I can't sit still for too long. I feel like the world's passing me by. I feel like I need to be doing something constructive. I feel like I got to make the most out of this time that I've been given, that kind of stuff. And when I sit still, I feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm being non-productive kind of thing. So I struggle with that. I struggle with that. Fallon Carrington says, I felt like that at times. However, I packed it in by stop working nights. Do you know that there's a study that says people that work nights and sleep less than 8 hours per day, they're at a 50% chance almost of having one of these, a stroke or a heart attack. So if you're missing your night sleep, you grinding out them nights, don't come home in the daytime and be like, oh, it's daytime, so I'm going to stay up. You better put some dark curtains in your room, dark up that room and go to sleep. Also, yes, Alzheimer's and dementia as well as muscle breakdown. And it's a lot of stuff that goes with just your rest. Just your rest. I'm the type to go and go and go until the go just stop going. The go ain't going no more. I just get knocked out. And I can sleep pretty much anywhere, right? When my tired just kill me, lick me down, then I'll stop. Then I'll rest. But I need to work on actually resting, actually getting some real rest. That's why I stopped working nights. I couldn't sleep, says Karen. Yeah, it's bad for you. It's bad for you, but somebody got to do it, right? Somebody has to do it. That's why I get up every day and say, shout out to the people going out to work, coming in from work, and extra special big up to those who work multiple jobs. There's some people out here working 2 jobs and 3 jobs. I keep telling the story all the time. I did it for years, worked 2 jobs for years, 2 full-time jobs. One of them started at 2 in the afternoon, 2 to 10 p.m. And then the other one started at 11. So I had that between 10 to 11 to clock out from one place or drive across town because it was on the other side of town, clock in over there and work from 11 till 7 in the morning. I think I did that for about 4 years or 5 years. So I understand fully. This is just ambitious people though. Cause we're not out here sell body. we're not selling body parts, and we don't have an OnlyFans page where we can expose ourselves for a few dollars. We have some dignity about ourselves. We're not out here robbing nobody. I don't want to get caught up in drugs and anything else, any illegal, illicit activities. So I had to work my behind off, and that was the only other way I saw fit was to work 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs. And when you talk to yourself, I was so tired, man. I used to talk to myself, like look at myself in the mirror, and your whole features and everything change when you're tired. Like you start looking at yourself and you're like, is that really me? Oh, me look so, you know? And you start looking at yourself like, look at me. Damn. By the time you don't look for yourself, you drop asleep. Drop asleep midway looking at yourself. It's rough. So big up to everybody going that route. Just make sure that's not the route forever. All right. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have a Dentity says, what's that word? I'm gonna figure this word out. Rhabdomyolysis. What is rhabdomyolysis? I'm one of them for years, and even right now, boy, Patsy, I have to go fix that up, Here is my thing, and I'll share this with you because y'all are probably going through it. I'm going to share something else with you that somebody else is going through. But this one, I had a plan. I had a plan from day one that I wasn't going to do this two-job thing, two full-time jobs, full-time day, full-time night. I wasn't going to do that forever. And I wasn't going to do it for too long. Even though it lasted for years, I had a plan. And my plan was save as much as I can and then go to school. Right now, I had other things in place because this is after I came out the military. Remember, I told y'all after I got out the military, even my mom was like, "Why don't you go join the sheriff's department? Why don't you go into law enforcement?" I was infantry in the army, so my line of work that I did was more like what SWAT team members do, right? Not just regular police, but like SWAT members. That's what an infantry team. That's how an infantry team operates. We even operate at a higher scale than that, but that's to give you an example of what we do. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do no law enforcement, nothing. I'm trying to like decompress and come back to normal. I'm having problems just being around people, period. The army taught me though that if you have an issue, don't dodge it, don't duck your issue, run straight into it and sort it out as you go through it, right? Don't deny that it's there. So I faced my demons. I was like, okay, I need a job that's gonna put me in the middle of people, a lot of people. And that's how I ended up at Walmart. Right. And there were some people that are like, how come you went to the military and then you got out and you started working at Walmart out of all places? Like you couldn't do anything else? Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time. People have their plan for your life. Like they have your life figured out and planned out more than how they have their own lives planned out, right? So a lot of people who knew me that couldn't understand. They're like, damn, if that's what you get for going to the army, I'll never go to the military. It's better I stay out here and work on my own. Now, mind you, I have all this stuff going on in the background that I'm not telling anybody. I'm just trying to figure out how to be normal again, right? So I took a full-time job at Walmart. Walmart hired me. Shout out to Walmart. They had great benefits, health benefits, which is pretty close to military health benefits. I learned that. So Walmart, honoring a veteran and all this. Anyways, I'm working at Walmart and it helped me. It helped me. It was therapy. Being around people constantly, having to speak to people constantly because the job required it, right? And then I started like decompressing more and more, decompressing. Told you a story about I didn't know that there was a mosque close by and the mosque had let out and a group of Muslim people came through in traditional dress. The women had on the hijab with the cover up and stuff. And I freaked the hell out in Walmart and ran out of Walmart on the clock, ran out the building because I thought they were coming for me. And I'm like, yo, that stuff followed you home. It's going down. I'm looking for my gun, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I had to go through all that. See, I had a plan. And the plan was get another job, work day, work night because you can't sleep. And I couldn't sleep. I had issues. Like I would be sitting up thinking about going on missions. I would walk around singing cadences. It was like trying to get my mind out of military back to civilian. Serious stuff. Serious stuff. Half of it I'm not even gonna tell you because I don't want nobody to judge me too much. But over time I'll share more and more with you. But I couldn't sleep at nights, and I would literally go 2 to 3 days straight, no sleep. So I started saying, okay, channel this so I'm not just sitting up late night, just bugged out. Channel this energy, this extra energy into something constructive. So I took another job. I took a night job, right? And between night job and day job, it left me tired enough to where I wasn't really so focused on my issues. I would just drop asleep, just like fall asleep anywhere, everywhere kind of thing. And in the meantime, I'm making money. And the money that I was making, I was saving a lot as well as taking care of my family and all that. Now, mind you, I have kids to raise. These kids depend on me. So I can't just check out and just be like, oh, I'm down and out and this is. Some people are lucky, some people they can take days off. They can say, oh, I don't feel good today. I'm sick. I don't feel good tomorrow. I'm sick too. I'm calling in. I never had those choices. I never had those choices because I never had anybody else to depend on. And I had children that depended on me. I'm their breadwinner. I'm their provider, protector. I'm their everything. They look forward to having a beautiful childhood, and I have to create that experience. And I can't let them know what I'm going through. You understand? So I have to bottle that up, deal with that separately, and then be the best dad, protector, provider, caretaker that I can be. And it was a struggle. So 2 jobs in, started looking for better opportunities. The one of the jobs that I was working was at 7-Eleven at night. And at the time when I started working there, 7-Eleven said, we don't do lunch breaks. Because I'm thinking I'll get an hour lunch break. I'll just go in the car, set my alarm, sleep for 1 hour, wake up, get back on the job. They say we don't do lunch breaks. We don't do breaks, period. So the second job, after working all day, the second job, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. was no break. No break. So I said, what about if you want something to eat? The manager said, eat while you're working. I'm telling myself, this got to be illegal. There's no way that this can actually be legal. This got to be illegal. Work while you eat. So you would literally see people eating a sandwich while unpacking the truck and packing the shelves and fixing the shelves with one hand while you're trying to eat a sandwich with the other hand. There's people there that smoke and they're like, yo, could I get a smoke break? Like, a little 10-minute smoke break. They would give them the broom and give them like all the cleaning stuff for the gas pumps and all that. You could go out there and clean the parking lot. Don't smoke by the gas pumps, but if you go outside, you're going to have to clean the gas pumps down. You're going to have to sweep up the whole parking lot, all that. There was no break. And I saved. And I disciplined myself and I saved and I saved. And when I thought I had enough saved up, I quit one of those jobs and I took another job at night. Still started throwing newspaper for Florida Today. That job paid really good, but I had an SUV, and the SUV, when I let all the seats down in the SUV, the newspapers, the vehicle was filled all the way to the top, from all the way in the back, all the way up to the front. And I had to deliver these papers every single day, 7 days a week, right? But it was better than working at 7-Eleven because I learned the route. So I was always looking for a better way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Always look for a better way. I learned the route that I had to deliver the papers by, and I got it slimmed down because usually you would have to be there at midnight when the truck comes in. Then you have to roll and bag each one of these paper. Then you have to go load it into your vehicle. Then they give you this electronic stuff, a screen with all these addresses on it. And I had like 300 and something addresses. And I had to like deliver these people paper. Some people wanted it close to the front door. Don't throw it on the lawn. Put it over here. Do this, do that. All this other stuff. And you have to cater to each one of those, right? I had that stuff slimmed down to 2 hours of work. It took me 1 hour to bag, load, unload from the truck, bag it up, and the next hour, just shoot and just deliver. So I went from working 11 to 7 to actually getting that stuff done. I would leave my house at midnight and I would be back home by 2:30. So more hours to spend. Then what I started doing after that with the more hours, I started working on YouTube because I still couldn't go to sleep. So I said, you know what? I'm going to build a YouTube platform, and I'm telling you how all this came about. I'm going to build a YouTube platform, and I want it to be constructive. I don't want to just do dance hall music review. I want to have serious conversations with people. I want to reach out to people. I want to touch people. I want people to touch me, educate me. I want to create a platform where we can talk about stuff, all this other stuff. And I did that too. We started out as a family channel. Then I realized that nobody was really interested in seeing a dad play with his children per se. So I said, what else is there that I can be honest about? And something just said, be yourself. Your life is a story by itself. Just be yourself. And I was like, okay, my background, I'm Jamaican. I'm from the Caribbean, right? I can relate to Caribbean antics, Caribbean news, Caribbean happenings, Caribbean culture, everything, not just Jamaica. I can relate to that more than anything else. But I'm also American because I've been here since I was a small kid. I can relate to that too. Okay, mix it all in. make your own authentic stuff. And here we go. So I had the paper route, I had the Walmart stuff, I had the and I started the YouTube stuff. Shout out to the people who are trying to do this YouTube thing. I made over 1,000 videos before I saw anything from YouTube. Before YouTube even looked my way and said, uh, uh, let's monetize your channel and let's partner. I was well in over 1,000 videos, probably like 1,500 videos before I even got that. So you got to, it's something you have to stay dedicated to. And this would keep me up all night as well. This right here. I was up liking other people's stuff, leaving comments on other people's stuff, networking, trying to get people to come over, all this other stuff, just building the platform, building the platform. And it wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening. And I would put videos up and I would come back and check the video. And 3 months later, your video has 20 views. 2 months later, your video have 5 views, 10 views. And one part of me is telling me, go do something else with yourself because this is not going to work. And I said, you know what? No, this has to work. So I started putting myself more into it. Now I started staying up all night to study how to do it properly, how to actually get it to grow. So I started watching others who did it, not Jamaicans, not Caribbean people. I started watching other people. They have masters on YouTube who teach you stuff, what to do. So this stuff is not no get up and take a camera and put it in front of you and speak and it grows. That's not how it goes. I literally would stay up all night till the sun came up. And when the sun came up, I'm still up trying to learn this, right? So when it first started, I remember the first check I got from YouTube, the check was like, it says set your threshold. And I set my threshold as low as I could set it. And the first check I got from YouTube was like $50. And I was like, yes, yes, it pays. It pays. So if I could make 50, maybe I could make 100 the next time. And then I did it. And I was like, well, if I could make 100, maybe I could make 200 the next time if I double the work. Mind you, I'm already staying up all night, right? I don't know where I found the strength from or whatever, but I doubled the work and I doubled the money. And I was like, okay, so this is where it's at. All right, so I kept doubling the work, doubling the money. Y'all guess the rest, right? Okay, the platform started exploding. It started growing like crazy. And I remember one of the people I was watching that was tutoring me, he said, you're not going to see it. Just lock in and do the work. You're not going to see it. When it starts to happen, it's just going to happen like that, but you have to do the work. There are secrets to this. And anybody who does promotions with me, because I hate to promo people's stuff and it doesn't do good. And then they're like, man, I waste my money with SouFLo doing promo and I got nothing out of it. I give you all them secrets. I tell you all my trial and errors. I tell you I stay up to date on how this works because YouTube is also constantly changing, right? I tell them all that. I give them secrets how to make their channel grow. Hey, I think you need to change this up. Trust me, put this here instead of this. I know, I know, I know. Take this and put this here and do this, that, and the other. And they do. And they see changes. And they're like, SouFLo, thank you so much for it. And it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to not only have, I know what I went through to get it, but the joy of being able to share it with somebody else and watch them blossom from it. Oh man, that part feels so good. I beg to disagree, Vicky. Vicky, give him time. What? I regret the announcement of Cargo's demise. He succumbed to injury by lyrics and beaten from high octane. He gone, people. Listen, so enough about that. But I was just sharing the journey with y'all, and our journeys inspire each other. Let me tell. I'm gonna talk about Majah Hype this morning. I don't know if y'all know what's going on with Majah Hype. I know there are a lot of people that don't know. Shout out to Shakira. She went and did some deep research yesterday and came back with some solid stuff, which we have like all the court documents for. So we know exactly what's going on with him, with Majah Hype. Yeah, and it's let's say. So we're gonna talk about that this morning. I was just over at his channel at his IG, and it's the same old video the day before he got arrested or whatever that was posted there. That's still there. No updated material. But I saw people asking questions, and I saw people telling them to mind your king business, and I'm like, he's a public figure. He's a public figure. He's such a public figure. He's even followed by other people that are famous. So are fans supposed to support you? You know, pull up when you have shows, spend money on your products, give you their time in viewership, which equates money to you anyways, you take it, right? And popularity and fame and all that. But then when something happens, shut up and mind your effing business. I don't, I'm not one of them kind of people. If things happen to me, and I never put myself above. That's why I don't kick people when they're down, because I never feel like that can't happen to me. Life has a funny way of making things happen to you that you say that could never happen to me, especially when you see somebody going through something and you laugh after them because they're hurting or they're down. Life has a funny way of making you go through it too, sometime soon. And those same people you are laughing at, they'll see it, and they'll be, and that's just karma, and that's how it works. They'll see you going through it, and they'll be like, look by your toe, look by your you was laughing at me, right? Watch you now. So I never laugh at people when they're going through their stuff. As a Caribbean audience, mostly, a lot of us either support him or might not like him for whatever reason, but still tune into his stuff. So I figured, yo, I'm wondering where the hell is hype? Where is that? Because I follow him. I follow him and I look forward to his content when he posts, right? So I was thinking, where is he? What's going on with him? Wifey, Mr. Wifey, babe, and she went and did some lookup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pages of court documents right here. 16 pages of court documents. In case you're wondering where Major Hype's at, what's going on with him, all his legal woes, I'm about to tell you about. That's it. If something happened to me, they would probably be saying this what happened too, right? All right. Kupayo to. Kupayo to. Brethren, the way I seen him style a female one day, I looked at Hype differently, and that was before the Kirby fight. I don't know. Was it in person? Was it in person, King Biggs? I'm always down, so you won't be able to kick me, says BM. I'm always down, so you won't be able to kick me. Wow. I'm not kicking nobody when they're down, man. It's something I practice. I don't ever kick people when they're down. It's life is magical, right? And we not magicians. So if that sums it up for you, life is magical and we're not magicians. So you know, nobody, I extend the same that I would want to be extended to me. Me talk humbly. I only put out stuff that's already out there. Now, all the stuff that I'm about to give you is public knowledge. It's out there for the public, but you just have to know how and where to find it. I didn't know how and where to find it, and I've been digging. So when she was able to pull all this up, I'm like, damn, maybe I need to give her all the rest of my stuff that I'm looking up to see if she can find them, because she find them better than me. I never missed a show when he came to Georgia. I unfollowed him after the Kirby incident, and I learned, that's what Sharon Ingram said. And I learned from the, I believe it's the Jamaica Star or Observer, that after the Kirby incident, he lost like 100 and something thousand subscribers, like overnight. Majority of which were women that said, I don't like you anymore. I believe her. Mm, unfollow. Unfollow. Thumbs down. Buy. Over 100,000 overnight. Yeah. But he got that 100,000 back plus more. And I'm thinking he got them back after the whole Kirby thing unfolded completely. Because remember, when it first happened, it was, oh, look what he did to my eye, and let me show you proof I was getting beating and all this other stuff. And I've never cheated on him. I'm not the kind of woman to be into all that. And then, you know, these women were like, you could tell she's a good woman. She's in your house cooking and cleaning and helping you with your kids. And why are you treating her like that? Blah, blah, blah. And then the video clips started coming out, right? One, and then another, and then another, and then we were able to tell by certain things, the time stamping of the video, that somebody wasn't being truthful, and it was the person who was the victim allegedly was not being truthful. So people started following him back, following him back, and they came back, and they came back. I don't judge people in their relationships. The reason why is because relationships can be extremely complicated. One brother said to me, SouFlo, how do you feel? How do I deal with a combative wife? Because his wife is being combative, as in she don't really listen to nothing I say. She's always disagreeable. We're always arguing because of it. I mean, I could say the smallest thing to her is drama, right? And I thought, wow, I think I qualified to speak in this area. So I put it on the here for morning thoughts this morning, which is another topic we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about what's going on with Majah hype as well. The other thing I wanted to speak about though was struggling with suicidal thoughts. Not me, not me, but there's a viewer, subscriber wrote me and said, I was watching this and I was in tears. I struggle with this. I've had quite a few of these. I've struggled with this. And, even today, I was thinking about ending it, like taking my life today. And I get up and I watch you and I feel motivated, and you make me laugh and you make me think, and I start looking at life differently. You boost me up for the day, but then this feeling keeps coming back and whatever. And I thought, let me say this on live. We're all connected more than you think we're connected. Okay? Nobody you meet in this lifetime is by accident. It's all by design, right? And it's not man design. We're all connected. We're our purpose, all our purposes, all of us, our purpose is to uplift each other. Our purpose is to be a shoulder for others to lean on. Our purpose is to motivate each other. Our purpose is to uplift each other. When we're down, when you're sad, when you have no feel like you have nobody to talk to, when you feel like you're so alone to the point where you want to kill yourself, take your own life, and all this other stuff. I use my own life as an example. My brother, my little brother, did the same thing. He left this world in that manner, right? And it was his 23rd birthday, on the morning of his birthday. And you question God, you question, like, you're like, why? Why? And how come I couldn't stop that? Because at the time it happened, I had came home from, I was fresh off of a deployment actually, and I was only home for a week. And I saw him those days, and the end of the week, that's what happened, you know. And to this day, I still say it gets greater later. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to hear it, but it does. It really does get greater later. It does get greater later. And a lot of times I sit and I think and I said to myself, damn, I wish my brother had just held on to that belief that it gets greater later. I mean, he couldn't see that it was going to get greater later, He couldn't see it. He couldn't see it. But it was getting great. It got greater. It got greater. And I wish he was here to enjoy the greater. I wish he had stuck around to enjoy the greater. So for whoever is out there that's feeling like you're down, you're out, you're alone, always remember this. Not only does it get greater later, but you're never the only one that's going through what you're going through. Some people mask it better than you do. Or some people mask it just like you do. So you go around thinking, I'm the only one that's going through this. Something is really wrong with me. No, we're humans and we share similar conditions. Yeah. I don't care if one has a whole lot of money and one got no money. There are certain things that we share that are similar right across the board, regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless of race, all that. It cuts right across the board. Every human can be affected by mental health issues. Every human can be affected by sickness of the body. Every human can be affected by, you're going to experience, as a human being, you're going to experience highs, you're going to experience lows, you're going to be happy, you're going to be sad, you're going to be angry, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be overjoyed, you're going to experience success, you're going to experience failure, you're going to experience love, you're going to experience loss, you're going to experience. These are all things that go right across the board. So never ever feel like, oh, I'm in this corner by myself. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. You're not alone. You're not alone. And I always tell people this, and I wish my brother did do this, and probably he did, and we still didn't freaking hear him, man. But I learned my lesson. It's a hard lesson to learn, but I learned my lesson. If you have to cry out at the top of your lungs for help, to where people think, dude, you crazy. Why are you screaming out like that? Forget what people think. Cry out loud as you can, at the top of your lungs. Forget what people think. See, a lot of us, we more concerned about what people think about us than we actually think about ourselves. We're more concerned about what others will say and what others will think more than we think about ourselves. Think about that. So you're sitting there thinking, oh, feeling, I feel like I'm gonna take my own life. I feel like I'm alone. I'm here. Then it gets to the point where you start hearing these voices that's pushing you. Go ahead and do it. You're better off not being here. I'm telling you, exit this world. Better place waiting for you somewhere else. Whatever. Go be with your, I don't know, your grandmother, your mother, whoever passed away, your brother, whatever. And you start listening more to that than anything else. And then you start thinking to yourself, but if I ask for help, people are gonna say I'm crazy. If I ask for help, they're gonna say I'm losing my mind. If I ask for help, they're gonna make fun of me. Forget what they think. Forget what they think. If you have to cry out for help at the top of your lungs, cry out for help. It gets greater later, but you have to be here to know that it gets greater later. If you're not here, you're not gonna know. You have to be here to know that it gets greater later, right? So when I got that note from that person, man, I read it. I was in my backyard and I read it, and I was just stuck on it. I was just stuck on it, like a heavy responsibility for somebody to tell you that. Just this morning I was thinking about like taking my own life. I tune into you, I'm uplifted, I feel like I could go another day type of thing. You're like, damn, wow, wow. Sometimes you don't know you're touching somebody else. Sometimes you don't know you're talking somebody else off the ledge. Sometimes you don't know you're being there for somebody else. Just be yourself, as in be loving, be kind, be respectful. The basics, man. The basics. That's it. And you might literally save a life today. And for those going through it, it gets greater later. It really, really does. How do I know? I've had those. I remember one time I actually felt like I could literally reach up and touch this cloud, and it was just hanging over me. And I'll never forget, I was going down the flight of steps in a building, and I felt like just throwing myself down the steps, like down all the steps. Swear to God, I feel like just jump headfirst and just throw myself down all the steps. Not saying I felt like killing myself, because I don't think that would have killed me, but I was so numb and out of it. And that was the first time I consciously said to myself, like, yo, you have to shake this. You have to shake this. This is not a one size fits all remedy, but I started doing a couple of things when that happened. I completely changed my diet. That's for one. That's when I actually went strictly vegan, for one. And for two, I started running every day, like going to the park, exercising, running, being outside, sitting on the grass, laying on the grass, rolling around in the grass. Um, yeah, and tiring myself out through exercise and through, some natural juices and herbs and these things. And I just started feeling better and better and better. It was, I don't know if it was a chemical imbalance in my brain that was going off kilter or what, but it was following me for months and months and months. And I'm like, I can't, like, something is wrong. Something is wrong with me and I can't get rid of it. Yeah. So if you're not exercising, get up and get moving, right? Go to the beach. Some of you live like in some beautiful places where you're so blinded by your depression or you're so blinded by your busy life that you don't even take advantage of the simple things that are around you, you know? Some people want to save a bunch of money. I got to go on my dream vacation, but you never been to the beach that's close by your house. Buy a tent, get a towel, go to the beach, set up your little tent, bring you some snacks, sit at the beach, walk on the sand, dip in the water, listen to the waves. I'm telling you, these things work. These things work, right? We're humans. Nature, we are a part of nature. We're not, this isn't, we're here and nature is here. We're a part of this universe. We're a part of nature. All this is a part of us. We're a part of all this, right? So it's no guessing why the sound of the waves is soothing to your mind. It's no guessing why walking barefooted on the grass or in the sand and laying in the grass. No, it's no wonder why all that stuff feels good to you. It's no wonder summertime is here. Today is the yesterday was the first official day of spring. By the way, I'm about to do a spring forward cleanse. So I'll do my cleanse and I'll show you the cleanse on video, and you can follow that cleanse if you want to as well. I'm overdue for a cleanse anyways, but I'm gonna do a proper cleanse. And when I do that, you can follow that on video. But get out, get out. Stop staying in between them walls in the room. You're not made to be that. Humans are not made to be that. If you think about prison and you think about how they punish prisoners, they lock them in walls, right? And when they get really bad, they put them in solitary confinement. That's what you're doing to yourself. You're locking yourself up in solitary confinement. It can't be good for your mental state. Get outside, breathe deep. I always tell people, suck in the air deep through your nostrils and breathe it out slow through your mouth. Be here, be now. Now. That's all you have. Here, now. That's it. Stop worrying about tomorrow. Stop worrying about yesterday. There's nothing you can do to fix yesterday. There's nothing you can do to rewind and bring back yesterday. It's gone forever. Stop worrying about it. Half of the stuff we worry about is not even worth worrying about. Do y'all notice that? We always worry so much, right? And half the stuff we worry about is not even worth worrying about. You ever had an exam that you had to take, for example, and you're like, you overstudy, you overthink, and then when you get to the exam, you're like, damn, this is so easy. It's A, that one is C, that would it's so easy to the point where you're like, I must be failing this exam because it can't this easy. But you spent like weeks worried sick about this thing. That's life. That's how life is. Most of the stuff you worry about is not worth worrying about. Worry is not good for your health either, by the way. Yeah. So stop the worrying. You can't do nothing about yesterday. It's gone, forever gone. You can't do nothing about tomorrow. Nothing. Because you can't reach forward into the future and pull tomorrow to you now. So there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you have is now, today, now. You woke up this morning, you're healthy, you feel good, you have the necessities of life, Yeah, you're not outside on the sidewalk begging people for some place to rest your head. The rain come, you're sheltered. So a lot of you have good career fields. You at least make enough money to survive and save a little something, right? Some of you are doing extremely well. You're able to not only take care of yourself, but take care of others, extended family, and these things. Those are a lot of things to give God thanks for. Those are a lot of things to be thankful for. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care who you call God. I'm just saying, be spiritual, right? And give thanks and be in that now. Now. So again, if you're going through it and you're feeling like have no way out, you're not the only one that's going through it. If you look to your right, you look to your left, one of those people that are right next to you are going through exactly what you're going through right now. They're just not speaking, just like how you're not speaking. All right? That way. So get that struggling with suicidal thoughts off the list this morning. Um, we'll save the how do I deal with a combative wife for this brother. We'll save that for the last part of the show. I'll probably need the women in the audience to help me out with that one because, I'm not a woman. So I can't speak as a woman. I have to learn from women about women, right? All right. Let's get with this major hype stuff now. Major hype. I mean, wifey dug up. Look, she went in and she dug up a whole lot. Let me pull this closer to me. So, an arrest warrant was issued for Major Hype recently, and with the arrest warrant came his arrest. And after his arrest, he was not seen or heard from again. So, one thing I've been saying to myself is, well, damn, how come how come he doesn't have how come he couldn't get bail? Is it that serious why he couldn't get bail? If he can't get bail, it's something serious. Because usually, if it's a minor issue, they'll give you bail, send you on your way. You're a public figure. I don't think you're going to run away. You do shows for a living. You travel here, there, and everywhere. It ain't that serious. I was wondering, why is he not out yet? Especially when I read one article that says he was supposed to apply for bail today. And I'm like, okay, a week passed from that day and still no sound of him. All right. Some of these paperwork. One thing I noticed from all this paperwork is this: whatever it is that Hype has going on, he also has co-defendants. He also has co-defendants that were charged with him. Now, some of y'all might know more than I do. Tell me if you know. But he has co-defendants that were charged with him. Letter of conflict, January 9, 2023. I'm looking at that one right now. State of Georgia versus, and there is a Damon Lauren Bell, who is one person who was along with him. State of Georgia versus Nigel Theron Joseph. That's Major Hype. And his other person is State of Georgia versus Javon Grice, third. So it's three of them that got charged with the same thing. Right. I'm thinking, what the hell is he into? Like, where are the charges? Cobb County Clerk of Superior Court. Mm. Joseph Nigel Theron. This is Major Hype kidnapping. Kidnapping, and this was okay, so this is the old one, right? Twice he had the same charge of kidnapping. Twice. This was one from March 25th of 2022. And then you have right here, I won't say his address out to the public. These are government documents that are put out there for the public. It's his son, Erica Sr. I realized one part, it says part of his conditions. I'll tell y'all what's going on in a minute. But he has to go through some classes, and those classes are family oriented classes. So this one has the warrant number. has his actual address here. I won't publicize his address. And here we have everything about him from November 22nd of 2022, all the way up until this year of 2023. When he entered a plea, what he was charged with, and how he pled to all those, and what kind of deal was made. So the reason why, in a nutshell, the reason why you haven't seen him is because I think he has to do mandatory time in lockup. He has to. I saw somebody on his channel this morning says, okay, big deal. He's got to do 12 days or 20 days. So what? He'll be back out in no time. I'm sure it's nothing big. They wouldn't give you 20 days in lockup for anything big. That ain't how it went. The court enters the following judgment. The charges are 1, kidnapping, 2, false imprisonment, 3, battery. On his kidnapping charge, it is nolle pro something. We looked it up yesterday. Me and wife looked it up yesterday. It actually means that it was. Now this is 2023. This isn't the one from 2022. He caught that same charge in 2022, and he was released on, I believe it was like $15,000 bond or something like that, a couple of thousands of dollars a bond, but it's the same charge, and he caught it again, right? The kidnapping charge, nolle prosequi or something like that. Right now, I'm looking at the government paperwork. It says nolle pros. But the other paperwork actually spells out the whole thing. We looked it up. What does this mean in the state of Georgia law? And it gives us, and it says this means that charge was dismissed. So he beat the kidnapping charge. It was thrown out, right? He beat, yes, identity. He beat the kidnapping charge. However, the false imprisonment charge, he was found guilty on the false imprisonment charge. He was also found guilty on the battery charge. Right. On the false imprisonment charge, he was sentenced, because it says right here, charge, disposition, sentencing, right here. On the sentencing charge, just so y'all know, I like to do this just so people know that I'm not making it up. I have the paperwork right in front of me. Y'all know me anyways. I don't do certain things, right? And I don't speak on certain things in a certain manner unless I have the work. So this is the work. Shout out to Shakira for this. She did this. So he has 5 years of probation. That's a part of his deal. 5 years of probation on the false imprisonment charge. On the battery charge, on the 5 years of probation on the found guilty, and 5 years of probation on the false imprisonment charge. On the battery charge, he has 60 days in confinement, and the defendant shall turn himself in by 9 p.m. February 19th of 2023. That is when he was arrested, right? He had to be in custody by then. The judgment was made. Now, it says here, the sentence may be served on probation, provided that the defendant shall comply with the attached conditions of the probation. Upon service of 60 days in custody, the remainder of the sentence may be served on probation. So, if you're wondering where he's at, why he hasn't gotten bail, because he had to do mandatory 60 days in lockup first. So Hype is sitting in lockup right now doing his 60 days. It's ordered right here. It's signed right here by the judge. 60 days in lockup first, and the rest of his time can be done on probation, which is 5 years. It also states the conditions of his probation. See? So the condition of his probation goes like he is not to have any contact with said victim, not neither no calls, no social media, no, and also throughout the next 5 years, no consumption of alcohol, can't burn a spliff, can't drink a shot or a beer or a drink, a mixed drink, nothing. Can't it's just a lot of stuff that he can't do. No consumption of alcohol, no consumption of any drugs, can't smoke some weed, can't do none of that stuff. Can't contact the victim, can't, oh, must consent, cannot have firearms, cannot have a gun, and must consent to searches. If the law comes around and says they want to search him, he must consent. He must consent to search of person, he must consent to search of vehicles, consent to search of his house, consent to search of whatever the hell they want to search whenever they want to search it. Yeah. You know, I live them kind of life, yeah. This is truly caught up. Because you feel like you're in a bubble when you're living like this, right? Especially if you're a person that it's a part of your thing where you want to lick a spliff is a part of your creativity, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna film this skit. It fuels the creativity, and then you start planning your stuff. Now you have to go function without all that. It might bring out a new person. You don't know. But I'm just saying these are the conditions. Final disposition is felony with probation. Right. It gives his date of birth. It gives his real home address, which I won't give out. Um, and it states his probation conditions right here. The defendant is subject to arrest for any violation of probation, and if probation is revoked, the court may order incarceration. Any slip up in the next 5 years could have his 5 years of probation revoked and him do his time to satisfy that sentence. The defendant shall comply with the following general conditions of probation: do not violate the criminal laws of any government unit, and be of general good behavior. Avoid injurious and vicious habits. Avoid persons or places of disreputable or harmful characters. Report to the community supervision officer as directed, and permit the community supervision officer to visit you as at home or elsewhere. Work faithfully at suitable employment insofar as may be possible. Do not change your place of abode. Do not move outside the jurisdiction of this court. Do not leave Georgia without permission of the community supervision officer. If permitted to move or travel to another state, you may agree to waive extradition from any jurisdiction where you may be found and not contest any effort by any jurisdiction to return you to this state. Support your legal dependents to the best of your ability. Restitution and other fees that he has to pay. The fees are small, $50 for something that he has to pay, a $50 public defender application fee, and some other stuff like that. But the conditions of his stuff: defendant is to pay all the fines, surcharges, and restitution as a special condition of the probation at the rate of $50 per month, beginning 30 days from today, it said. And that's the same day that all this was written up, right? The defendant consenting hereto is the judgment of the court that no judgment of guilt be imposed at this time, but the further proceedings be deferred, and the defendant is hereby sentenced to confinement at such institution as the Commissioner of the State Department of Corrections or the court may direct, with the period of confinement to be computed as provided by law. For him, it's 60 days mandatory, and then the rest of his time on probation. Dorothy T says, what a shame for someone so talented. This is another obstacle, man. This is just another obstacle. He is stuck in Georgia for 5 years. So are we saying that he can't travel to 50 states for his gig? Indeed, how they do it is this. Sometimes it's up to your probation officer, right? If they see, because they require you to have gainful employment, and they know that he has children to support and all that. So they're not going to tell him, nah, go get a job at Walmart. He can show them, like, listen, I'm a public figure. I travel for work. I make good money doing these, these shows. I need to be in Los Angeles next weekend for this show. They'll probably sign some paperwork that says he flies straight to LA. He does that show, and he has a certain amount of time to fly straight back and check back in as soon as he gets back to Georgia. So they'll basically restrict his movements and watch him closely. And he'll have to do a whole lot of checking in and a whole lot of asking for permission. If he book another show somewhere else, got to ask for permission again. One thing I don't think that he'll be able to do, though, is fly out of the country. I don't think he'll be able to fly out of the country. I've never seen them grant that to somebody that's on probation to fly out of the country. Even though they might. I'm not law enforcement. I don't know. But I've never seen it happen. I've seen people ask and get denied, even though they were allowed to go to other states, but they weren't allowed to fly out the country. So again, it depends on, that's Georgia. Georgia have different rules from Florida, have different rules from New York, have different rules. Things are done different in all different states. So it's up to them, basically. The question to ask, though, is, will he still have the same support that he had before? See, the thing about all this paperwork is, right, it says this was a domestic issue. It doesn't say who the victim was. It just says stay away from said victim. No contact to be made with said victim. So on and so forth. It doesn't say who the victim was. So people are still guessing. I wonder if this has anything to do with Kirby. And this has, I wonder if it was Kirby. I don't think so. Because we have all the paperwork from the whole Kirby situation to where that ended. But this picked up right after the Kirby situation ended. So I don't know who he got into this with, but I don't think it's Kirby. Because we saw on paper where the Kirby stuff ended, and then we saw where this started. You see what I'm saying? Unless he went back and got into more stuff with. His victim name is redacted. Yes, his victim name is redacted. The victim's sex is redacted. So you can't even guess if it's a... I'm reading through the whole thing. I'm like, let me at least see if it's a female or a male, or no name, no sex. Right. And it tells special conditions of his probation right here. Fourth Amendment waiver says that the defendant waives all Fourth Amendment rights, consent to a search of his persons, his papers, his personal effects, his residence, his vehicle, his bodily substances. Defendant further consent that such a search may be conducted by the CSO or PO or by any law enforcement officer. That means whenever they're ready to search, your Fourth Amendment right, don't even speak about it. We search, and we search in everything. And you consent. It's a part of the condition. Defendant agrees that such a search may be conducted without a warrant and without probable cause, articulably suspicion, or reasonable grounds. So basically, they don't have to even give him a reason why they want to search him. They could just run up, and it's on paper, hey, run it. Don't even speak. The defendant consent to the use of any evidence seized during any of these searches in any prosecution that may arise from said searches. You must avoid the use of drugs. The defendant shall and and not use narcotics or dangerous drugs. Now they on here it says shall not consume alcoholic beverages, but then they crossed a line through that part. The rest of it has no line, but it does have a tick beside it that says shall not consume alcoholic beverages, shall not consume narcotics or dangerous drugs unless lawfully prescribed, shall not associate with anyone who uses or possesses illegal drugs, shall not occupy any residency or any vehicle where illegal drugs are present, shall not go to an establishment that serves alcohol. That one is not ticked. Shall not go to a residence or establishment that has alcohol. That one is not ticked. That box is open. Because if you think about it, if he's doing a show, right? Usually at these shows, they have a bar. They serve alcohol. People drink, right? So if they were to like cut out no alcohol, you can't go anywhere where alcohol is being served, that could really cut him off. If you think about what he does for a living, the defendant must submit to random drug screens at their own expense. Damn. So they could run up and just say, yep, gotta do a piss test, and you pay for it. Wow. Limited to no contact. The defendant shall stay away from blank, have no violent contact with blank. Those are not ticked in. The defendant shall have no direct or indirect contact in person or by phone or by mail or by otherwise with the victim. And it just puts the victim, not male, not female, or with his or her or the victim's family members. And it says or with his/her family members. Can't contact that victim or their family members. And then there's the Family Violence Intervention Program. The defendant is required to participate in a family violence intervention program that is certified by the state. The defendant shall commence. So within 30 days, I believe within 30 days of him getting out, he has to start going to that. It's called the FVIF, Family Violence Intervention Program. Dorothy T says, crucify me, but it seems like Kirby is the downfall of him. Samson and Delilah. BM says, that sound like a mental prison. Boy, results of doing friggery, says King Biggs. Firearms. If you are convicted of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year or a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, where you are or were a spouse, intimate partner, or guardian of the victim, or are or were involved in any other similar relationship with the victim, it is unlawful for you to possess or purchase a firearm, including a rifle, pistol, revolver, or even ammunition. Acknowledgement says, I have read this and I understand it and I agree to it. And he signs it right there. The attorney signs it right there. And the district attorney signs it right there. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, social.
Morning, fam. What going?
Yeah, yeah. You want to see our cover over the topic. A man very talented person.
Wait there. You have it on speaker or
Bluetooth or something? Hold on, let me see. You hear me now? Better now?
Better. Sound better. Talk to it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I hear a girl with the pan now.
Really? You out there?
No, man, I'm there Fort Lauderdale.
All right. You're close by, man.
Yeah, man, I got a yard.
You fly out of Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Today?
Right now.
Blood fire, boy, brother. Can't believe it, man. Oh. Yo, but let's come back and I'm ready for go and get it up.
Yeah, tell you.
Yeah, I'm be able to net up.
I'm not forward back till probably 20th next month.
Ja.
Oh, suppose somebody eat.
Yeah, enjoy yourself here, so. Oh
Yeah, for a
God.
level now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's say the matter
Mm-hmm.
we lie between such man
Mm-hmm.
and such woman. We as grown adults to learn from his mistakes
Mm-hmm.
as man. And I can tell you this, and it can both to man and woman.
See.
Sometimes we deal with the enemy and we don't know.
Talk no man.
Sleep with the enemy and don't know.
Talk no.
And the same person turn on back and be with their own fall.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you have to take bad things, make joke, because the people like I say, he whip. You understand?
Facts.
Say,
Yeah, talk
say
real
whip.
facts. Yeah, real facts.
Yeah, because if you check the facts,
Mm-hmm.
in getting us some puddle with our prayer, and you don't know man and woman thing, you know, you can't get in between man and woman thing because they may have fight today, and you they are part of them, and later on, then lock up together, and the two of them turn down for you and not cuss you. You
Mm-hmm.
see me I say?
Mm-hmm.
So, where him lie and things will happen to him, we feel like I feel for.
See.
You see me I say? Because
You feel
something
a fame.
happened
You
to
feel
him.
a fame fault.
Yeah, man, I feel for it, man.
See.
Because something happened to you already.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the girl disrespect the man in my youth.
That who you tell man? Me see the.
Yo, she
Yo.
style the man, my youth.
Yeah, them. Hey, them video that did shameful at least.
My youth.
What,
Listen, yo.
what would have burn my feelings though? I say, you say, me no business about what a woman want to do. Cause if a woman ready for left me, then me ready for she leave too. Me not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm tell enough man, stop holding on who want leave your brother. Some man want kill all woman. You know how much woman out in the world? Some of them are wait upon you. And some of them are probably better than the one where you did have, where you try murder for let. But listen, when you see them video they pop up, you see, and you know say, you kiss that woman you like her, you the love of your life, you know, tongue in her mouth and suck off lip and all them something there. And when you see what our next man did that do with it, like right before she carried to him, come give you, like them thing that make man outrage, my friend. And
Yo,
yo,
me tell you this. She
mm,
love me. My youth, the share me because if some man share me, they
dash,
score for it for about a long time.
dash, yeah,
Because me see the figure them in my youth, and if I don't know, people heal over time, you know, but my boy they heal too quick.
mm,
We couldn't heal over that.
mm,
Because we see the video them in and the video them really humiliating. And I
yeah.
think that was a learning point.
Every time I think say I did that one video, the next video. Every time I need think say, okay, this is it, the one video, and next one pop up, and then them say, no, SouFLo, and another one, the IDA is the next one with the
is a
next youth, and I'm
is a
like,
man
yo,
is a man like you know, where grown up, you know.
mm,
Start the thing from nothing, you know, and it become to something, you know, because
saying
he is a man, we don't want to see greatness go to waste. Even
facts,
if yeah, you know, nobody not perfect. So if you make a mistake, we not go really bash you. But at the same time, you have to learn.
mm-hmm.
2L, give 1W. Meaning if you lose 2 times,
Mm-hmm.
you learn.
Enough to
You
win,
learn to win.
yeah. Some
Isn't
people not
it?
learn though, you know, my brother. Some people learn, some people lose 20 times and still stuck in them way, you know. I'm about to lose about 20 more times before them finally learn, you know.
Yo, but I want thing though.
Mm,
She get thing.
mm-hmm.
Good.
So I say
Yeah,
it stir up him, it must stir up in head.
yeah, man.
Him that go
She
through
get
it, but
thing,
I
man.
act like him never go through it. You have to put on
Yeah,
a brave
man.
face sometimes, you know, especially in the world of entertainment where you have to face a crowd and your job is to uplift people even while you're feeling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next thing, never tell them and those. Whosoever watch your program or listen,
Mm-hmm.
may I tell you this. The world of social media changed from what we know it was.
Mm-hmm.
It have changed and they must secure more and more every day.
Mm-hmm.
So They are tell them and those stop bring social life, matter of fact, personal life,
Private life on social media.
private life
Mm-hmm.
on social media. Everybody love the hype and I'm not telling a lie. Everybody love little hypeness sometimes.
Sometime.
You see me, but not all the time, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You see me? So you see, me not go back to hype, but more to pull through, cause man like me, man like you, you see me I say,
Yeah.
more want him overcome and him learn.
Yeah.
And what next thing too, before I hang up,
Mm.
my brother used to look for me and tell me, say, look how Jamaica liquor, and it's full of how much woman. And
Mm-hmm.
you come America, the woman dash way.
I make one girl mad you.
I make one girl, I put it through so much problem.
Sure,
Too
no,
much
no.
people man there. I like that flow.
I don't lie. A fox. A fox.
I
Yeah.
that alone me have to say flow. So
All
I
right.
wish him all of the best.
Real talking, brother.
Yes, you know, big up yourself and bless up all of the people who are tuning and respect every time.
All right. Stay safe on the trot
All
here.
right, all right, boss.
All right, son. All right. Yeah. Yeah. That was rough. That was rough. Him say the brother say him think hype the heal too fast from that cause him couldn't heal so quick after seeing all that. But if you think in retrospect, right, when your job is to go out and make people, most great comedians, they have a lot of sadness going on in the background. They have a lot of sadness going on in the background. Most great comedians, and it's through their pain and their sadness that they cultivate funny and laughter out of. Most great comedians go through it, and I don't think Major Hype is any different. I'm not wishing no downfall for him at all. I want to know who is the victim in this. I would like to know, cause me just nosy, or me want get a whole picture of the kidnapping charge in there and all these things. So a woman or a picnic or like who is it? I don't know. All I can go off is these court papers right here. As a result of the plea negotiation resulting in the defendant's guilty plea to another count or counts of this indictment slash accusation. This is the Nole Prosequi, and we looked that up and it says it was thrown out, right? Um, so based on his plea deal, he got to escape and I looked up the kidnapping charge. In the state of Georgia, if you get hit with a kidnapping charge and you get found guilty, it's a minimum of 10 years. They have a mandatory minimum on it. So you're doing 10 off the bat no matter what. So it's a minimum of 10. And depending on who it was and all that stuff, and it says if it's anybody 14 and up, it's a minimum of 10 years. I'm guessing if it's anybody below 14, then the time increases significantly, right? So he escaped the kidnapping charges, he got that thrown out and pled guilty to the other two charges. And then there's the rest of it. It says his age, his address, his date of birth, all that other stuff, which I won't give out here. If otherwise allowable by law, if any subsequent prosecution of me for any other offense, I understand that a prior finding of my guilt may be pleaded and proven as if an abjuration of guilt has been entered and belief had not been granted pursuant of so my record discharge shall be released solely to the Attorney General, a District Attorney, a Solicitor of State, the Department of Offenders Rehabilitation, Office of okay, more paperwork, signed by me and my attorney, and they signed both the bottom right there. This is the Superior Court for the County of Probation Information Consent to Terms of First Offender Status. My name is, signs his name, and I request that all proceedings against me be had in this name, and I am mentally competent to make this informed consent. When they ask you, do you understand what's happening to you now? Are you able to speak and read English and all that other stuff? All that paperwork that wife she dig up. So we see him sign and tick the box and sign and tick the box. Limited to no contact with the victim, so on and so forth, and that's it. Yeah. So that's why he's been missing. That's all the paperwork right there. He has to do 60 days in, and after the 60 days, he will be on 5 years of probation where he will be searched whenever he feels like it. He'll have to report to a probation officer as scheduled. He will have to ask for permission to leave his state to go anywhere for work or whatever. He'll have all the conditions of a probation. If he violates any of those conditions of the probation, they'll put him back in and he will do the rest of the time behind bars. The fact that he's a second time offender, his legal counsel did well. Yeah. But on his paperwork, it says first time offender. But in the news, it says he had these similar charges before. Actually, on paperwork, it says he had these similar charges before because he got released on $15,000 bond or something like that, thousands of dollars of bond for the same thing. So I don't know how him get the first offenders rate, but that's what he got. He got first offenders rate. I will drop the mugshot and the charges in the chat room if you are in there. Kaitaja Empress, big up yourself, sis. Kaitaja Empress says she'll drop the mugshot and the charges in the chat room. So you get to hear all the background story to it and what's going on with him here. And then for those of you who are in the chat room, you get a little bit more, right? In my bun. Oh, on I talk about CMR and you know, sir, I don't watch them. I don't watch them and I don't know, I was never so CMR, let's put it like this. When I was doing my up and coming part of YouTube, right, there were a couple of vloggers that made their name off of taunting me on a daily basis. They would make, if you can go back and look, they would make videos about me. Right when my channel started to take off, they would make videos about me. For instance, remember I told you my channel started off being a family channel. So I used to like pull pranks with my kids, right? So there's this particular prank that I did where I'm in the bathroom and this is before I never seen nobody else do it until after we did it. I remember I talked about 2015, sometime around this, because I actually really started this 2016 flip it over to SouFLoTV. It was a family channel before. And I had a jar of Nutella, chocolate Nutella, and I was sitting on the toilet, right? And I called my son. I'm sure you've seen this prank now millions of times because other people did it after. And I was like, yo, Farai, bring me some toilet paper, please, because ain't no toilet paper in here. And him push him hand through the door for give me the toilet paper. I dip my finger in the Nutella and wipe it on him hand. So when he pulled his hand back, he was like, oh, like your poop touched me kind of thing. And then I was in the bathroom and I'm like, I wonder, you think people ever taste their poop? Uh, it don't taste too bad. You know, this is a prank, right? My Jamaican YouTubers started taking it. Shit up mouth, boy. Them money they are foreign. Them forget about Jamaican culture. I told you he's not Jamaican. This is something that foreign people do. They sex animals and they eat their own feces and this and they actually took my prank and started making it, broadcasting it as if this is something that I was into and it's real, right? Shut up, mouth, boy. This is that and the other, and they kept doing it. I believe that CMR was one of those people. So all the people who are involved in stuff like that, I never paid attention to their channel. So I don't know if they came up in YouTube or if they went down. Some of the channels don't exist anymore because they just didn't stay the course and build. And then some of them they stayed the course and they built. So I believe so. So I never pay attention to them after that. It was over the weekend. This weekend, somebody said, SouFlo, so I go on with CMR and what's your name? Talk about it now. And I actually answered back and said, who is that? Because me never remember who. And they were like, What do you mean, who is that? CMR, the blogger. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Chrissy, Black God, yeah, Black Goddess Henry. So it wasn't until I'm going through IG that I saw her doing videos. First, I saw his video. I don't even know their situation, so I don't want to speak on it. See, but I saw Wally British give a couple of long speech. You know how Wally stay already from there and then, and all these things, and you know Wally talk already. So I was intrigued. So I was listening to Wally, and I'm like, what about a mix up? And then we see him come on, and him say, it was a prank, people. It was a prank. Then Missy, she come on later. I say it wasn't no prank. And I'm like, yo, what a bag of mix up. All that don't make me look on who me there with. Because me know say if anything goes down, so my business I go out there. So my business I go out there. See, we did that prank. But when I did that prank, it was a prank. And to this day, people still say, move on where? That's why your woman left you one time because you are rah, rah, rah. And it was a prank. It was, I woke up that morning and said to wife, I said, you know, I feel mischievous to them. I feel like, you know, we need to cut the grass low and see the snake, them man. All kind of something. I'm getting ready. I got my scrubs on. I'm getting ready to go to the clinic and stuff. I was on a contract out in Texas working at this medical facility. So I'm like, yeah, and she was pregnant. She was like, oh, I'm going back to bed, something. So by the time me shooting that video there on my way driving to work, boom, send it out. By the time I send that video there out, by the time I got to work, it's buzzing. Like, let me see. There was a vlogger named Mautamasi. I think Mautamasi is still about, I'm not sure. But there was a vlogger named Mautamasi was like, do the first video, like, oh my God, yo, me feel sorry for SouFLo enough. I can tell say it's a real youth, but the youth are hurt. I mean, I say, yo, them bite, them bite. I think it was a prank. Yo, fam.
Yeah,
What?
you know me hear the use a term where we go through the judicial system, and that was the verdict. I'm never tell you, it named Nali Pasikoe. You know what that means?
Yeah, it means that basically it was dismissed.
No.
What do you mean?
You need to go research it and see what it is.
I did, and that's what it said.
Let me tell you, cause me, them give me knowledge, knowledge them call it. Yeah, knowledge means there's not sufficient evidence, but then dismiss it, but then can call the case up anytime. If a 20 year, 30 year, 40 year, they can call it up. If the complainant have evidence of the charge, because I know them give me, yeah, I mean, research it. And the knowledge the person tell me, say, I'm a courthouse downtown at a circuit. Tell me, say, it's not done. It just let them just pause it. But the person who is the complainant, if them have evidence pertaining to the charge, if a 20, 40 year down the road, it can come up. But just research it and you see what I say.
I will. Cause me did look it up and ask like in Google in the state of Georgia, what does this mean in the law? And you know, Nali Prosequi.
Prosequi. Yeah. Prosequi. That's the right word for it.
Right.
Meaning it not literally throw out.
It says
dismiss.
Right.
But it still can come up back 20, 30, 40 years from now. And that means the fun right now. And if we never get no knowledge, we couldn't come America. Yeah, so we just tell you, because here in the area, say, and I call them back. And I say, yo, knowledge possible, no means that them dismiss it. No evidence for them. That's why.
All right.
All right, my boss.
Manners. Let me see. Ella A says, first off, no crime can never no crime can never been. That fix up the part there, Ella or Ellie. That don't make no sense. First of all, no crime can never been brought up unless it is double jeopardy. Me not understand what you say, but the only way you get double jeopardy, everybody knows this, is if you've been tried already completely. Not if it's been brought up once before. If it's been brought up once before, but you've never been tried on it and they didn't come to a formal conclusion with it, you can certainly be tried by on something that was brought up before. But if you went through a trial with it and they made a decision already, then you can't be tried for the same thing again, right? That's called double jeopardy. We know that. But the nulli prosecu is what it's called. Nulli prosecu is what it's called. And it says that in the law, it means a formal notice of abandonment by a plaintiff or by the prosecutor of all or part of a suit or action, which means they threw out that part. I saw it's all right. That's all. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Where I go on with the SouFLo?
My dad, know what go on.
I explained that was not a prosecuting me.
All right. Come
So I think me have two of them in Florida.
May I read it off a textbook definition? So you go through it already. So tell me what it is. How it operates.
So my first instance was we get a ticket. Right? We get a ticket. And I forgot a court. Police give me a ticket for weed.
Is it that they don't wish to prosecute?
They do not wish to prosecute.
All right. So I know that me I tell the brother because I say it right. That's
they do not wish to prosecute.
Right. I'm in the law dictionary from Cornell University right now, and it says it's a Latin word phrase which directly translates to not to wish to prosecute.
To prosecute, exactly. Right. Exactly. Right. But anyway, my reason for really call it still, you know. I speak on two topics this morning.
Yeah.
Where me can't relate. Me no want to hear myself a feedback.
You sound clear to me, man.
Well, I hear myself, man, I don't know why. But anyway, you see, the first thing when I talk about that depression there, and thoughts of hurting yourself and them thing there.
Yeah.
I've been there. See?
You go through that?
Yeah, something more. Yeah, man, I go through that and me still to date struggle with it sometimes. See, yeah, in the sense where, you know, sometimes when things don't go your way or you expect if you're going, it puts you in a certain kind of place. Even the last night, I said to one of my students, nobody really said can't really put me in a depressive state. But situations can. Now one person after nobody after, no matter what you say, no matter what you want to say, well, I care is fucking zero. But like life situation are the only thing I can wrap me on a certain kind of way. So I still kind of try to navigate how to, you know, go through life and deal with life situation as it comes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I realize that the best way to deal with life situation is don't even really think about it, just like what you said. Go ahead and hear that.
Yeah, face your demons.
Yeah, I understand what I say. Yeah, and 9 times out of 10 when I face it, I realize that I must have look how when I work up myself. You know what I mean? And it just flow through, you even realize that shit, I get through this and pass this and I'm good again. You know what I mean? The other thing now with Majah and Fiend case. If him for traveling can travel, man.
If him for traveling,
even if him for travel, if him have real reason for travel, him we can travel.
But not without permission. But not without permission.
But not without permission. Him have to go call him, make him lawyer, know him lawyer, make probation people for them know and all of that. And I think he has to go in a court too to get the permission. He has to go in front of that I was in a situation like that also.
See,
Because last year, I need to go for one of my family member when I come in our country. I need to go for him, but at the time I end up on probation. So I have to get the lawyer, let me get the permission to go.
You're good now,
I
though?
understand. Yeah, man, me good now, man. I have to get me couldn't even try with no fire, man, and none of them sitting there, none of them sitting there, man. It was a stressful situation. You know what I mean? But do what I'm supposed to do. I'm up for probation and I'm good again. Good. It main thing I'm glad said though. When we become a citizen, I'm glad I did.
Seeing.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because even throughout the whole case before you reach probation and all of that, we could travel back and forth left countries a couple of times. You know what I mean? While the case was in a court.
But
you know what I mean?
But you had your citizenship.
Probation. Eh?
But did you have your citizenship?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Cause me know why me ask you that is because me know a brother I don't know what happened to him, but him used to up on SouFLoTV all the time. Like somebody would comment 50 times a day and some long paragraphs. So he was well known on the platform, seeing? And then him disappear But before him disappear, I was doing a whole heap of immigration videos at the time. So me did tell him, I say, yo, the amount of time when me see you go Jamaica for the year, and you tell me say you only have a green card, me say you might want to watch that. Sure enough, and this for some of y'all who don't know it, he said, yo, SouFLo, it's funny you should tell me that because them just stopped my mother at the airport and me and she come back. And I went down more times than she did. They stop her at the airport and tell her, say, you don't need this green card because you've made so many trips already for the year and you stayed out more than you stayed in. Do you know what the purpose of this green card is? And him said before his mother could have answered, the immigration officer them said, we're just gonna switch out your green card to a visitor's visa and we'll keep it rolling. And just like that, she lose her green card. So
yeah, man, with the green card thing.
So when him was doing it still, me did I warn him, but then me not hear about him again. So me not know if him, him get roll up like that too. But that's for some of y'all out there. The green card means they want you to stay here and work here and establish yourself here. If you don't have no business going on in where that you can prove there or anywhere else, you can't be staying out more than you're in. They will tell you at the airport, you don't need no green card. You're not working on green card means working on eventually becoming a citizen. You're not showing us that. You're showing us that you just want back and forth. So what's appropriate for you is a visitor's visa, and that's what they gave her. So you can
have a green card, and work outside of the country,
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But you have to make it known.
Right. And there are conditions. You have to be back within a certain
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a
man, SouFLo, man. Me just want to make a note say talk on two topics where we can really relate to in our
So how you staying now mentally?
Mentally, me had way better than the past 2 years.
You know what I mean? Now? Are you in a good space now? Are you in a good space now mentally?
Me in a better space mentally. Me not there where me really want for them. But me I do the work to get to where me want for them. Me good, me great.
All right, that part then.
Yeah, I understand. Me great, man. Yeah, as me say, life, man, life out there, SouFLo on both sides,
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So you have to know how to balance and try to navigate and keep yourself on a certain level. And that me I try to do.
All right. Effort.
Yeah, I understand. Effort. Yeah, man. I mean, that single father same way too, so you know how that come down. Yeah. And this a place and pretty.
Willpower and effort, my brother. And they get greater later, don't they?
Yeah, that me I talk about.
Yeah. Do the work and you know so you get greater later.
Yeah, man. But look, before we left, I said to yourself, me send a thing on the gram there, with the cargo and the acting thing that we need to talk about that award some more.
You know me want to go on a separate video, because that our whole movie. Yeah, that nothing up on this. That fit up on a whole video by itself. Yeah, that's a one.
Sweet.
Boy, I can't go pepper up the place over there.
Yo, the man a go on.
Yeah.
The man a go on. The man talk some things, yo, nah lie.
Yeah, me I got dig into that one there today. So you can look out for that. So.
All right, sir.
All right, my lord.
All right, sir. Yeah, let's go under the door, man. You know, me call in and comment by the video, the man. See me. Man, a subscriber yet, but you don't know. I'll get there.
All right, kid. Manners.
I'll see. All right, bless up. Yeah.
Bless up. All right, sir. Cargo call me out. Crystal G said, Cargo call me out. SouFlo Cargo said, you get rich now. You stop review music. No. The music. Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
1 second to stop. Let me get you off Bluetooth.
Wait there. Fix up your phone. I don't know. Bluetooth.
I did.
Speaker.
I did. Hello.
All right, I want to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, you're clear. What go on?
Good morning, SouFlo. Good morning, all the people on the live. I'm just calling to live here this morning. And this morning I'm changing my voice because I don't really want anybody to know who it is. Yeah, but I want you to really talk about. You used to tickle me, SouFlo, and I used to laugh. We used to do these music reviews so wonderful. And you were incorporating us. I know a lot of people would understand. Even some who are not members and they're loyal, people to you, like myself.
Yeah.
Okay. This war has been itching like ants because I love war. But musically, I love it. And you're not doing anything about it.
Right.
And I don't like it.
But
okay.
Is you tell me to stay away from one, and
yes.
First you tell me stay away, now you tell me you want me to
God.
Yeah, of course we know this. Vicky, listen.
Oh my God. You can't do it.
Listen.
You make me broken out. I'm very reserved,
Your wife can't no more.
You haven't got people yard comment. You let people life over there. You miss you. You hear me? I'm gonna people are going straight SouFlo. You must see me. You let me people watch.
You see that one here?
Yeah. You have been straight.
You see that one here?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Right. I'm just tired of it. So I need for you to get into this thing, okay?
I am.
And I'm running octane.
You're running with octane?
All of these little things that's going around that car race thing. Good. Yes, that's the thing.
So wait. Your team octane?
Oh yes.
You're not neutral?
No, I was neutral at first. I ended up asking live, but all of this other stuff, like SouFlo like that.
All right, look out for this one. Look out for this one today. Yeah?
All right, then. We'll talk SouFlo.
All right.
Look at boy. Yeah.
All right, so Vicky has something else. Here what? When you say Black Goddess Henry says Team Sky God, what rotten head. I'm gonna be on it today. I swear. See there? I write it down already. I was actually about to do it this morning, but I don't put. But see how I do my review them? I do my reviews like this, right? I have to go and actually properly do research. This is time consuming. If you want to do a real review, I'll tell everybody else that do it too. If you want to do a real review, you have to actually listen to all of the song them. Because in a clash, song answer song. So there are things that are mentioned in one song where are going to be addressed by the next person at the next song. And you have to rate the quality of the music, the rate at which the person answer. It's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. So I'm going to do that. The reason why I stayed away from the dancehall stuff for a minute, though, Cargo might be right, but I know because me get rich and nothing, me still broke. It's because too much negativity was into it. I don't like people disrespecting other people's mother. Me no business who you is. Me respect your mother. See? Even if you don't respect your mom, I respect your mom. Why? Because even if you don't respect me, I want you to respect my queen. So, me not like when people I tell people about suck out under your mother. That is so degrading and low. But me understand saying a clash, all gloves are off. I'm not talking about the two people them who are clashing. I'm talking about the comment section. My comment section used to be filled with so much derogatory, nasty stuff like people I tell people, threaten people, how them want to shoot them in them face. And then want, and when we see our road, me I gotta do this to you and that to you. And I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to build a platform like that where people can come be violent and disrespectful outright. And enough of them biased narrated because from them locking upon one person, them never yet say, I'm an artist, you know, but the song that no make it. So and so take that round there. They just don't want to say it. Me, I have no dog in the fight. So when I do these reviews, I don't business if I'm a favorite artist. If it not up to par, I say it not up to par. I've done it. My favorite artist is Vibes Cartel. One time Alkaline did respond one time, and one time Mavado actually did respond one time. I said no. Cartel I forgot do better than that because him need help. That's what I said. I said him need help right now. Him need help. Him need to reassemble the guys and get some help or something. And imagine me saying that Vibes Cartel need help. You know, but it was just that good that it was coming from Movado. Like the rebuttals were that strong and that good. So me not do the bias thing. I don't do the bias thing. I think bias thing mash up dancehall. Cause you can't just take one side and just run. One side on my side is that side and no matter what. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. So yeah, me I go sit down on that one here today, and by the end of the day, it late into the evening, when you can look forward to the Ioctane versus Cargo something. It nice. It nice. Cargo is extremely talented and Octane is extremely talented. And you know the two of them have that talent where them can sing plus DJ. I know every artist can do that. Most of them can either only DJ or sing. Dexter Daps are one of them kind of artists that can really sing plus can really DJ. So right now, the war tune them don't even sound like, you know, like our Bounty Killer war tune with that sound. Like thump up the place and bust up, man. It don't sound like that. The war tune them actually sound very melodic and like something you can dance to. We're gonna get into it. Last topic for the morning though, because I know yes, so we are gonna do that. So the last topic for the morning. Let me reiterate before I go any further. If you're going through something and you're feeling like hurting yourself or you're feeling like giving up, remember it gets greater later, but you have to be here for the later. Your life precious. Here, no matter what you want, tell yourself or think, sir, you are a special design, meaning nobody else no design like you. Be your authentic self. This world have us feeling like so we need to be like other people. That's not right. It can't be right. We're not like other people. How you think them have fingerprint, Philly? Everybody fingerprint. Think about that. Everybody fingerprint is different. So is everybody's soul. Okay? You are that. You are special. Is one you. Ain't no remix or copy or whatever. You're that special. So go out with that in mind. All right? And try to keep a strong mind. Implement some of the things I said you should implement. Try to do anyways. And ball out for help if you really need help or you think you really need help. No bother business about who want to look on your funny. Ball out if you need to ball out for help. Help will come. See? All right. The last one we're going to talk about this morning now is a brother says, SouFlo, how do I deal with a combative wife? Because of lately, I'm not feeling like me and wife are on the same page. This is where I'm gonna need the women. Him not feel like him and him wife are on the same page, and everything he says to her, she has a rebuttal for it. You know, like the simplest of things, she has a rebuttal for it. So when people ask me my opinion, I want y'all to understand that they ask me, and I am not perfect within myself. So the most me can give them is based on my thoughts and my experience, right? I try to put all that together and give them, like the brother who end up with the woman when end up find out says she used to be on heavy drugs and she was a prostitute with a pimp and all these things. People cuss me and say, "Look at you! Why you acting like you better than everybody else? If God forgives her, who are you to tell the man about leave him good wife after she never cheat on him, never do nothing like that?" And I'm like, he asked for my opinion, and me I try to tell you, say, me wouldn't do it. Me I cut. Yeah. If you were ever a prostitute, like jumping car to car, you busting down like 40 dicks a day in some other state, and you were crafty enough to fool me. Move come which part me there. We in love, get married, you're the woman of my dreams, all this, and then that come out, you will be no longer the woman of my dreams. I'm giving up. I'm quitting. I can't. That's me. So I gave him my opinion, and enough people cussed me about it. Some people said, nah, I agree with you, SouFlo. She should have something deep like that, should have told the man up front. You know, he would have had a choice. Yeah, but him probably never go want her again after, so she took a risk. It's still deception. It's still deception. And that's the thing. You made up a new person for him to fall in love with. You did. You made up a new person for him to fall in love with. If you had shared your journey with him, yo, I've been through some dark places and dark times. I'm confessing to you because I don't want nothing to come out later that would change your mind about how you feel about me. Blah blah blah. Tell him everything from the jump, and him still say, you know what? I still love you, and I'm still gonna pursue this relationship with you. I still want you to be my wife. I still want. Then you can walk around with no burden on your shoulder, and you can say, "My husband know everything about my past. My husband accepts me for who I am. My husband truly loves me." But if you hide one whole part of your life, and then me go find out from other people, then I didn't love you truly for you. I loved who you made up and gave to me. You understand? So that's factual. Now, where I'm going to need y'all help with is, how do I deal with a combative wife? I have strong opinions on this. I have strong opinions on this. First of all, as a man, my opinion of a wife that is combative is okay, this is how I operate. You have to understand how I see life first, right? And I see life like this. I don't have a womb. I don't carry a womb. Woman carry womb. But I want my children. So I need a womb to produce my children. I don't have a problem using your womb to produce my children. You understand? I don't have a problem using my womb to produce your children. But SouFlo, shouldn't she be your wife in order for you to use her womb to produce your children? Not really. Not really. Because a lot of women can have babies, doesn't qualify you to be a wife. Because you can produce children, it's not a qualification to be wife. There are good women out there who are perfect wife material for somebody, but she can't have no picnic. You see what I'm saying? So, how do you deal with a combative wife? If your woman is being combative towards you, like she won't allow you to lead, like everything you say is offensive, um, she got issues with you speaking to her, however you say it is still the bad way, the wrong way, or whatever. She's not your woman. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. And I have this part in my mind where I switch off. Like, okay, you're not listening today. You're not my wife today. You're listening tomorrow. You're my wife tomorrow. When tomorrow comes. But if you're not listening today, you're not my wife today. My wife listens, right? Not saying she has to do everything when I tell her to do, but as the man, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. I put it like this. If a big man jump in the way and say, yo, I'm gonna fuck somebody up in here, guess what my wife gonna do? She's gonna jump behind me. Right? You're the man. Go up front, lead, defend us, protect us. If you're a good man, if you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do as a good man, you that protector, you that provider, you that everything else, you're already leading. You don't need, and I got this one from my mom. She says you don't need to wrestle your manhood away from any woman, or you don't need to fight with any woman um, for your manhood. You know, God created you a boy that grew into a man, and you're gonna be a man whether you're with that woman or not. So when you get a woman that's so combative that you feel as a man like you're having to fight for everything, including your manhood, then I don't want to tell you mash up your marriage, but you might not be with the right person. Or I don't know, it's gonna take work. Especially if you're telling her how you feel and she is still like, me not care. I the same thing you're gonna get all the time. Then that's probably not your person. That's probably not your person. And women, please don't call me chauvinistic or anything like that. But me really look on it like this too. Some dirty foot picky head boy or whoever you were with before, right? A lot of you give yourself surrender wholly and solely doing wifey things for some boy that never made you a wife, right? So your feelings got hurt deeply before. So now that you have somebody that made you a wife, you want to be combative to him, but you weren't combative to Dotty Joe. Dotty Joe did a ride off everybody else upon you. You was sharing man, you was doing all that. So how come now you have this guy who he makes his money and all his money goes to the residence that you live in? All his money goes to comfort life for you. All his money goes towards paying these bills, taking care of the family. Uno, vacation, this, that, and the other. Not just his money, his attention, his time, everything. And this, so you get it. Right there, sir, from him. And him can get a surrender. Him can get a full respect. Him can get a, that's how I look at it. So I'm like, yo, sometimes they give a whole full surrender to people that don't even deserve it. And them man, them mash up her head and joke her off and gone left her. And now you there, I try and make life with her, and you are get the worst of her. And she done already gave away the best of her to somebody who wasn't even worth it. So one our ex still a ring in our ears, cause she was his yam head. Most women was a yam head to one away. One of us. Most women was a yam head to one away. Somebody is sitting out there looking at your wife and going, yo, me run that in a circle, you know, man. Yam head, you know. She like my yam head. My little yummy yummy. She was my little yummy yummy. I need my wife to be my yam head. That's what we know it sounds funny and everything. But I'm gonna need my wife to be my yam head. Yeah. Yeah. Be my yam head. Because you had relationships before me. And you learn along the way. So now you have your guard up. For what? We don't need no guard around here. You it for me. Right? So let that guard down and be my yam head. And I will reward you for being my yam head. Them never reward you. I will reward you for being my yam head. Anytime a woman is combative, it also makes me think like how many people she been with before me. How scarred up is she really? Cause you know them always lie about them numbers, right? We're about 1, 2, 3, and you're the third one. I could still count on one hand how many of them now tell you say, man, listen, I was hurt and I've been through a bunch of dudes. They all hurt me. You know, so I'm scarred up on the inside psychologically. Them act like nothing wrong with them until she start upon you for everything, and you're like, God damn. Well, one to you. You all right? You know, a flashback Shelvin. Flashback Shelvin. You're like, well, the sky's blue. No, it's not. It's pink. Come look. I don't care what you say, pink. I don't want it pink. She having flashbacks. She will never say the sky is blue as long as a man said the sky blue. It pink. Again. So you have to go take that, right? But she ain't being honest. So how you deal with a combative woman or combative wifey? I don't know. You start look for your next wifey. Maybe. I know. Listen, I'm not into that. I think I said this to wifey the other day. Cause me that watch a video and me hear a girl say she tell her man I tell him all the time, like I have mad choices, I got a lot of opportunities to cheat. And I see people that I could do it with every day. Like I'm into that, they into me and all this. But I don't. And you should be thankful for that. They ring up their neck on. You should be thankful for that. Mr. Bro, she already does. Just the fact that she is so keen at attention out the road for other man for know so them want to sleep with her attention they out there and she could do it every day and she'll tell you about you should be thankful for that. It sounds like she barely holding on. It sounds like she's ready to give it up if she not get up already a couple of times and then feel like, keeping you tucked because you are the safe one. You the safe card. They gonna hit and run, pump and dump. You will stay. So you the safe one. Stay right there. So. But don't forget that I got opportunities. And I think I said we have the same opportunities too. So I don't know where like modern women get this thing in their head like I'm the best thing whatever happened to him, and and like we're at boy out the road to we get the same thing. Like we could say the same things, but that ain't what we on, you know. Lulu Ridges says, unless the relationship left baggage, you can't unload. Why the curiosity about the history? I have a big issue with that too, Lulu, because it's general knowledge for humans that your past makes up who you are today. Your past and your past experiences make up who you are today, man, woman, whoever. See? So for you to say, oh, this happened quite a few times in my past, but it doesn't affect me at all. Brush it away. It didn't happen and you don't need to know about it. But people are having who decides to be close to you has to deal with the ramifications of that past while you deny that that past happened to them. But in yourself, it did and it affects you. I think that's cheating. But hey, we live in a time where they're trying to normalize not knowing somebody's past, which is weird. But we've normalized a lot of weird stuff in today's world, you know, not knowing about somebody's past. I said this already, me I'll say it again. If I go to the car dealership, I don't want the Mercedes Benz will have the 300,000 mile on it and you roll back the odometer and I tell me, say, yo, it only have 25,000 mile on it, barely driven and all this other stuff. Me no want the one where crash up and mash up already and your car go body shop go refix the whole body and I try to sell it back to me as an accident-free vehicle. And then me I drive down the road and it a rocks up. And I'm like, but it new and it look pretty. Why it drive like this? What? Why it boop, 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 and it left me a roadside? You want to know history. You want to know history. Your past makes you who you are today, whether you want to admit it or not. If a female was raped, beaten, abused in the past, it affects her today. It probably affects her today no more than ever before. Same thing. So why you think if she went through some messed up dude and some messed up relationship where she was all invested emotionally, you think that don't affect her still? That's a lie. It does. Same thing for a man. Same thing for a man. If people go through stuff, it affects them. It might make them bitter. It might teach them to be better. It either teach you to be better or made you bitter, whichever one you want to choose, but it affected you in some way. And whoever is dealing with you now will have to deal with whatever came with that without knowing why they're dealing with this. All them know, say, this set of behavior that you're exhibiting right now is not normal for any normal adult, well-thinking adult. So now they're gonna have to try to piece the pieces together like, yo, this ain't normal. This is not normal for a grown woman. A grown woman that knows you say you love your family, right? You say this is the relationship you want to be in. You say you want stability and all that. So how come you wake up every day and work against that? It's like saying this is what I want, but working against having it. It don't make no sense. Me can't tell you say I want to have an athletic body, but I never work out. I eat a whole tub of ice cream by myself, drink a gallon of liquor every day, lay down on the couch all the time for extended hours, just gain weight, gain weight, gain weight, and my belly big till me can't see me teely, and me can't see my foot them neither. It's like saying you want one thing but working against it kind of thing. That's how I look at a woman that is combative. A woman that is combative to a good man is fighting her way out of her good relationship. You see what I'm saying? Is working towards destroying her own relationship. Right? Think about it. It's just like a man will have a good woman and him start abuse her. You're working your way out of your relationship. You're running her away from you and you're ending your relationship essentially. Because nobody not like abuse. So whether she's strong enough to do it today or tomorrow, eventually she's gonna decide that yo, this a beer abuse. Me no build for this and I'm not taking no more. Eventually it's gonna come. So when you start exhibiting certain attitudes in your relationship, you should also start preparing for the end because that is what happens. 1 + 1 = 2 and no other way about it. Unless you get a man where just can sit down and deal with all that. Teely. Yes, my belly so big, me can't see me teely. Can't see me foot them. Can't see me teely wheelie. Lost under there. But I want to be an athlete. Or I want to have an athletic body. Kata Empress, thank you. The key word, good man. You know, women say stuff like this, right? And this is another thing. When the caller called in the other day and the caller said, SouFlo, women surrender to men who protect and provide. And me stop her. There's a lot of men that protect and provide and they're abused. There's a lot of men that protect and provide and them get nothing but disrespect. That's why you have broken men out here that go savage. So the next female should just go get pain. She just go get hurt. She just go get because yo, I gave my all and my all was not returned. I gave my all and got shitted on, kind of thing. It's the same thing vice versa with women. Remember, I know we're all humans. Remember that part there? And we all have like go through similar things, emotional damage. That's common, normal. Ella said, woman are wicked out here, not like. Well, woman wicked and man wicked too. We have to balance the thing. And no man alone wicked, man wicked too. But if we are gonna talk about a combative woman now to a good man, I want every combative woman who has, cause you know when you have a good man. You had shitty men before. Pardon my language. You had shitty men before, so you know when you have a good man. You know the boy where you give your heart, soul, and body hole, and him never give you nothing back in return. You remember that. You remember that. You know when you have a good man. So if you know say you have a good man, don't sabotage yourself out of having a good man because you see how I'm good. I'm gonna be good to somebody else except for you next, right? So that's my advice. How you deal with her, I don't know. Just tell her straight up. Say, listen, this is a big turn off. This make me want to like look for somebody else. This make me want to go be with somebody else. Life short enough. Life is short. Ain't nowhere written in any rules that says you have to come here and suffer with the same person till you die and then left. Sometimes you give people space and room to grow and make mistake and all that, and we're humans, so it's only wise to do that, right? Most people go into their relationship thinking perfection. First mistake you make, I'm out of here. Leave relationships alone if that's where your mind is at. And I'm not just talking about cheating, I'm talking about everything, right? But you give people them space for learn to love you properly and all these things. But me can't sit down and wait forever, man. I want some joy and happiness on a continual basis throughout my life. And if you ain't that kind of person, then me can't start by myself. I don't have to wake up every day and argue with you. I could wake up every day alone. And carry on. Simone, Janice, Stephanie. Which one get it today? Choices. You know? You don't have to be you every day and beer, my blood pressure high, my head a hot, me lonely, you know, and chat to me. If me say something to you, you cuss me. Like, women destroy their relationships. And sometimes, here's the tricky thing. Sometimes some people are done with their relationship already, but don't want to say it. Because even them haven't accepted that they're done with it yet. So you will see, it's like you remember the list of things that the girl did say about the man. Him eat too much, him this, him that, and the other. And I'm like, you breathe for the man, you live with the man, you said the man pay all the bills, even though you have good job and make your own money. Everything was fine. And then suddenly, next baby daddy, I know my story that you know. I told you where I got it from. You could go read it for yourself. It's in the Star. Tell me, Pastor. So you had all this going good things with the man, enough to lock up and breathe. And now next man I whisper in your ears. So here comes a long list of the things. But no, me just not like all the way I'm through the food. Me can't stand it. The boy I chew like hog. But for the longest, you didn't care how he chewed the food. And it never bothered you. You know when people are look for a way out, I look for an excuse for done it, that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful. You might be with one of those. She might be that combative because that is what it is. That's where she's at. She done. But even she not ready for say she done yet. Just got to be careful. We'll end this one like this morning. Woman wicked and bad. Man wicked and bad too. Women are great. Men are great too. It depends on who you end up with, right? I know people come with all them best foot forward and all these things, and we get tricked. And then we find out we end up with the devil from hell in our skirt, or we end up with the devil from hell in a chisel body and a three-piece suit or whatever. But patience, time, space, even very important. Somebody say, yo, you have to make her miss you. A woman is never clingy to a man she sees every day, all the time, up and down all the time. I don't know. You gotta let her miss you. But how do you let her miss you if you're around her all the time? Go if you're a minute, something. I don't know. All different kind of stuff. End of the day, this is what it is. How you deal with a combative wife? Be open. Be honest. Lay your cards on the table. As a man, don't flinch. Say what it is. This is not going to last if this continues. Straight up. This is what I expect from you. This is what I want. Blah, blah, blah. This is how I gotta take for do this. If she not fitting that picture, cut. Or slowly draw your way out. Because sometimes you can't just cut. So, because other things involved. But slowly draw your way out. And that goes for everybody in every relationship. That goes for everybody. All man, all woman, everybody. Lay it out. This is what I expect from you. This is what I want. This, and this. And if they're like, if they can look at it and tell you, say, I'm never gonna be that. Oh, you want respect? I'll never give you respect. Oh, you want this, that? I'll never give you any. Okay, fine. Nice knowing you. Wish you all the best. Down the road I go. Last call for the morning. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Hi, SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, fam. How you doing this morning?
I am blessed. Thank you.
Amen.
And first, let me give my disclaimer. I'm not a member, but not by choice. I was banned by YouTube for a year. I can't join any YouTube channels, but my ban is up next month. My ban is up next month, so I will be joining.
You posted some naked stuff, some freaky stuff.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Somebody else. You know how you join that YouTube, where you get all the commercial programs ad free and stuff like that. So I gave out my my password to like 10 different people.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Anyway, I know. But my reason for calling today, I actually agree with everything that you're saying about a woman. I was in a relationship with a damn good man. I mean, he was a good man. I prayed for him. My prayers were answered. But because of the baggage that I had from childhood and the things that I went through from childhood, I took that into my relationship with me. I was very combative. I was very distrustful. I was like waiting for the bomb to drop every day with him. And I actually ruined the relationship because I didn't tell him about my past. It wasn't anything like I was a prostitute or anything like that.
Right.
It was just a traumatic past. You know, when your parents leave you with other people and go to the States and people don't take care of your kids like they promised that they would, and stuff happens. So I wasn't honest with him about stuff that happened to me when my mom left and all that other stuff. So like I said, I was very combative. I argued about everything. I was horrible for him. He was a great person and I ruined that for him. And eventually he left. So women, we have to understand that even these people on the live, they like to talk about the Bible. And if we do believe the Bible, God says that the man is the head of the household, you know, and that's something that we need to live by. And we need to be honest and we need not to be so combative and argue about everything every day. Sometimes we need to stop and listen to our husbands, listen to the partners that we're with, and take what they have to say into consideration. And if it's a good man and he's bringing in the dough and he's taking care of home, come on. Sometimes we need to bow out. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's end it like this, right? Perfect call to end the morning. You would have think I orchestrated that. Perfect call to end the morning. You know how rare it is to hear a woman actually say, I frigged up my relationship with a good man, I swear to God, go around and ask. Majority of women will tell you, yeah, that one I did cheat on me. That one there was a dog. This one I did abusive. That one was that. This one just didn't like to talk to me the right way. That one this one that, and that one the other. Never them. Never them. Very rarely you hear a woman say, yeah, my past did affect my relationship and I was with a good person. She said she prayed for that kind of man and God sent him and he was that in every way. And she frigged it up because of her past, right? Understanding that there is a problem and admitting that you have an issue is the first way, the first step towards becoming better. If you're a drug addict, if you're an alcoholic, if you are a messed up person, the first step is looking in that mirror and saying, damn, I drink a lot. I'm going to die from alcoholism if I don't stop. I have a problem. I don't know. Maybe I have to go check into some AA meetings. Maybe I have to do something else. If you're smoking drugs or whatever, same thing. I have a drug problem. If you are an abusive person, you have to look yourself in that mirror and admit you are friggin' abusive, bro. You have to change this. This is not a good part of you. This is a part of you that you actually have to hide from other people because you're ashamed of it. You have to change this quality about yourself. It's going to ruin your relationship. It's going to ruin you as a person, blah, blah, blah. The first step is accepting that things happened that rolled over into who you are now. And then you got this thing and this person you prayed for, and you messed it up because you didn't deal with, right? You weren't forthcoming, you weren't honest, and worse, you didn't process it out and deal with it. So them get the rot. And guess what happened? They left, and now they're being somebody great to somebody else, and there you are again with it. So hey, you don't have to take my word for it. I see people in the comment section sometimes, SouFlo, you didn't go to school for this. You're not no counselor, so I don't know why you keep telling people about relationship. That's the thing. That's the thing. You don't need no book for this. You need life experience, time on earth, and the ability to observe and understand human condition. That's it. With that said, though, manners and respect to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here this morning. It's a good day to take a look into yourself, actually, right? And a good day to try to be better than you were the day before. That's it. With that said, I appreciate you. One love. And I'll see you tomorrow morning right here, if God spare my life, on Morning Thoughts. I'm out. And look forward to the cargo versus Iactane thing I got drop later on today. That should be pretty festive. Peace.